doing out. You look scary out. Can't fuck that bitch right. And she be getting nailed out. You won't forgive her, ain't it? You wanna love it, don't you? Just know that love ain't for you. It's for the world, homie. I got some real homies. We don't pretend, homie. N.W.O, one West, we kicking field goals. Let that bitch lead, ho. She got them D's, though. With a little steak and ass pussy, she be going beast mode. She HIV, ho. You dirty ass skeet, ho. Don't get that shit up out your chest, bitch. Say what you gonna do now, what you gonna say now, what you gonna do to me? It is UPK, I'm shot too deep, it's better Google me. I put these girls all in my training camp like I relieve. I say what I do and I do what I say, bitch, what the fuck you mean? If for more, right, that's good business. She look good, but hang with dumb bitches. Tell her I'm way too fly for one sister. And if she leave a piece, I won't miss her. I'm gonna put a ring around it. Oh, no. Bitch, for the street like basketball goes. I always knew she'd let that lane hit her. Won't get a sip from me, I ain't simple. Bitch, now I ain't gonna win.
Allah punya. Correct. How about you outside, brother? How about you outside, brother? Clap it up, Akim. Akwakian. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahweh Shai te bendiga. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahweh Shai cuide sobre ti. What's going on, Akim? Harlem, you there?
Con, sir.
Harlem, I damn near was late for listening to this D'Angelo. I was almost late.
Uh-huh.
I got to get off of this D'Angelo. The sisters keep sending me these songs. I've got to get off of this. I'm off of this after the night. Give D'Angelo a hand. He wasn't in the truth now. He wasn't a man of God. But hopefully tonight I'm going to really try to teach my white friends out there. I know a lot of my white friends listen to Commanding General Yohana and the ISUPK. Hopefully tonight I would like to teach you a lesson using D'Angelo. As you know, D'Angelo died of pancreatic cancer this day. The sisters have been sending me these songs, and I'm always on it. I damn near was late for listening to it, but I'm going to stop right now to do my duty. Clap it up, Akim. Who's in the house tonight?
You got Pittsburgh.
Give the Berg a hand. I see you, Pittsburgh. Always getting it on post as usual.
Damn
see
right.
You, Pittsburgh. Go ahead.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, the Brave. Give him a hand, Akim. I see you out there, Atlanta. Most High in Christ.
And Milwaukee with us.
Milwaukee, what you got going on back there? God damn, Milwaukee. I see you building something back there. Get it on, Milwaukee. Good to see you, warrior. And of course, we're here in Harlem, New York, man. Say shalom to Harlem, all the brothers down there in headquarters, man. Lord allow, I will see you in the flesh very soon. I'm going to answer all of your questions tonight. My nombre es General Mahayaman. I'm going to answer all of your questions. I'm going to solve all of your problems. And hopefully I can even solve some problems of my white friends out there who religiously watch this show, but yet can't quite understand the benefit of what we have to offer in the Israelite School of UPK. Let's start with your questions, Ephraim. I'm ready to rock. Oh, let me, while you're waiting, I'll give you some topics. We're going to speak about those white boys that somehow someone leaked. These young Republicans, they have a chat thread. Somehow one of them leaked the chat thread. And of course, they're on this chat thread, these young 25 to 35-year-old white men speaking about how much they love Adolf Hitler. They love the gas chambers. They hate black people. And of course, this is from the same people that will get up in arms if you call them a Nazi, if you call them racist. We're going to speak about that tonight. We're also going to speak about, what else do we have, Ephraim?
So we got the ice raids going on in Chicago.
Yes, we're going to talk about the ice raids in Chicago, man. Let me tell you something. Our oppressor never surprises us. White people, you are so predictable. You are who we think you are. That's what you are. And we're going to speak about it tonight and show you what's happening in Chicago and show you that our oppressor is just doing what comes naturally to him. We'll explain that today. Also, let's get into Commanding General Yohana. Give him a hand, man. Commanding General Yohana. went on that podcast this week out there. Let me tell you something. We went out to the middle of the goddamn desert in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the desert to meet with a group of white supremacists. I mean, out and out, I love Adolf Hitler white supremacists. They offered Commander General Yohanna to come down and do the podcast. I mean, because no one else would accept the offer. Commander General Yohanna was on deck. That's all. We showed up to the desert. We showed up there and we had no fear because God watches over his servants.
Right.
I pray you understand that, white people. I pray you understand that. And they did, and they treated us like gentlemen. They were absolutely kind and courteous to us out there. Some white supremacist MMA fighter, Justin Jacob something. You can look his name up. He was out there and he interviewed Commander General Yohanna, and that white supremacist behaved himself like a gentleman, and I thank him for it. All right. And it was an excellent video. Right now, Commander General Yohanna is getting more hits than anyone else on that white supremacist channel, period. Commander General Yohanna did that this week. Also in the same week, I think a few days after, Captain Tazar Yak. I'll give Captain Tazar Yak a hand, man. Captain Tazar Yak, brother, flew. We had just left Los Angeles. And this little weird Edomite, what's his name? Mathan or Mathan? What's his name?
Matan Evans.
Matan Evans, this little weird little Edomite man, white man. He called Captain Tazar Yak and said he wanted to fly Captain Tazar Yak back out to Los Angeles. Now, the captain just left LA. He just left, I think, the day before. The day before he already left. He was back at headquarters. What happened? Captain Tazar Yak got on the damn plane, flew back out to Los Angeles, California, man, and set up on some fake Last Supper table with this little weird white man. And it was outstanding. It was absolutely beautiful and wonderful. It did my heart good to see it, man, on both accounts. And of course, Captain Tazar Yak is breaking records on that little weird white man's channel, breaking records on there right now. So give Commander General Yohanna a hand, of course, who is the reason that we all do this, and the father of every young brother in this school, brother, and Captain Tazar Yak, who is a faithful son, an absolutely faithful son. Give them both a hand, all right? Most High in Christ. Let me see you, headquarters. We ready to get it on?
I think it's the third or fourth highest video on his channel so far, and that's only in the first few days.
Forget about it, man. Of course it is. What else was it going to be? Finally, those white people are seeing something they never have seen. When Commander General Yohanna went on that MMA white supremacist channel, and when Captain Tazar Yak went on Mathan's channel, you know what that's a channel that is designed for white men. That's the demographic that those two channels cater to. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, young white men have seen a real man.
Right.
For the first time. If you're sitting there watching Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn and all these white male podcasters thinking that you in some way are learning about manhood, you are getting more and more feminine every time you watch one of those podcasts because they are not men. They are not masculine. If you want to ask anybody, ask a white woman. A white woman knows who a real man is. I pray you understand. A white woman knows who is the face, the scent, the power of real masculinity comes from blacks and Hispanics, and any white woman will tell you that. I pray you understand. Well, finally, the people on those channels have seen a real man in Commanding General Yohanna. You've seen a real man in Captain Tazar Yak. And now it's up to you to take notes. It's up to you to learn a lesson, young men, young white men. Is there anything else I can do for you? Headquarters, are we there?
Yes, sir.
Let's get some questions answered.
Yes, sir. Oh, sorry.
Whenever you're ready.
Has a question.
Salakia, sir.
Please, I bar you. Go ahead.
Shalom, Madawan. Salakia, sir. This is a question. I was recently looking into the old 08 debacle, the recession. The reason I have this question is because I've been looking into it as far as the MBS, the mortgage side of it. I had I had a history teacher in 11th grade around the same time as that going on. He, how do I say it, nudged on the idea of, mind you, he was a devil and wanted to keep his job. He basically blamed it on banks and the government forcing banks to give Israel loans during that time, which caused that whole debacle. Is there any truth to that? Like basically saying black people caused the 08 recession. Is that just Esau being a devil, or is there some truth to that?
That's Esau being the devil, young brother.
That's
a lie. That's a lie that banks forced mortgage lenders to give black people homes who should have never received home. Let me ask you a question, Ibaria. Who's forcing credit card companies to give credit cards to young 18-year-old college students? Who's doing that?
Nobody, sir. It's a scam.
Nobody. So do you know that the minute you turn about 18 years old, and if you are a young college student, you are going to get inundated with applications and pre-approvals for credit cards at 18 years old. Am I lying? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Salaki, I got gold cards at 7.
Shalom. Gold cards. So who's forcing them to do that? Let me tell you what really caused the housing crisis and the collapse of the housing market. Motherfucking greed. Excuse my language, white people. Greed. That's the same reason that they would give you a gold card when you're 17 years old, 18 years old. That's the same reason the minute you apply for college and you get accepted to college at 18, 20 years old, you get 7 pre-approvals for credit cards. It's not because anyone is forcing them to give you a credit card. They're giving it to you because they know that you don't have the finances to pay this bill, and they want you to go in debt. Because when you go in debt, they get rich. The credit card companies, the banks, the mortgage companies, the rental companies, they all profit from you going into debt. Because when you go into debt, they get to do something that since slavery, they've been trying to figure out how to do. They want to get your paycheck back. They want it back. Remember, societies thrive on slave labor. Then all of a sudden, white people had a people in slavery that could not be kept down. And because of it, they had to free them. And since the end of slavery, they've been trying to get back the money that they are forced to pay you every week. It's a redistribution of wealth. You get a paycheck from your employer. That makes your employer sick. He cannot stand it. Your employer is sickened by the fact that he has to pay you. And so they think of ways in all types of think tanks, and people go to Harvard to think, I have to pay this person $2,000 a week, $1,000 a week, $700 a week. How can we get it back? How can we take the money back? And they find a way to take the money back. And the first time they did it, which is what Commanding General Yohana always taught us, is with the Pullman porters. The Pullman porters were a group of people, I think in the 20s. They were the people on the trains that would take your tickets and help you with your bags. And they had to get paid. But the railroad company did not want to pay them. So what did they do? They loaned them food. They loaned them a house. They gave them a house. They gave them food. They gave them land. And what did they do? Well, now you owe the same company that you work for. You work for them, but you're in debt to the same company that you work for. So in doing so, the train company gets your paycheck back. That's what Amazon is doing right now. That's what they did with the sharecroppers down south.
John.
Slavery was over. Hallelujah. Slavery is over. So now we have land. It's just you have to work this land, and you get to keep a share of it. The problem is the soil is dead. It's hot as hell. This land is a dirt bowl, and I can't grow anything on this filth that you've given me to survive on, but I still owe you that portion every month. I still owe you. So because I have to give you so much, I get to keep nothing for myself. So I don't even get a share. as a sharecropper. In doing so, they get back the money that they give you. It's a redistribution of wealth. And that is how society works under white people. White people pay you a paycheck and then fight like hell to take it back. I pray you understand. Is there anything else?
If I may, is that similar to what Joseph did during the time of Egypt? Basically, after all the excess ran out, I believe he basically made the Egyptians basically sell everything they had to Pharaoh so Pharaoh could feed them.
Exactly. It's how society needs slaves for the people at the top to truly realize their avarice and greed. So if you can't have slaves, what do? You find a way to take the money back. Take it back in rent. Take it back in the price of food. You ever wonder why the cost of living keeps going up? Out there in New York, what are you paying? $2,300 a month for a one-bedroom shoebox? Cost of living keeps going up. Why? Because they have to take your paycheck back. They have to get it back from you. Because if you got to keep your paycheck, one day you would be the boss. One day you would be elite. One day you would be the 1%. So they can't actually let you save money. They can't actually let you stack money because then you would compete with them. You know how white people are about competition. White people cannot stand competition, which is why he hated affirmative action and he struck down every DEI program because there was 1% pilots were black. That 1% scared white pilots to death. Scared them to death. 3% of the people in higher education are black people at Harvard and Yale, at Ivy League University. 3%. A brother came on CNN yesterday and said he went to Harvard. Can you hear me?
Slag it, sir.
No problem. A brother came on CNN yesterday and said he went to Harvard. He went to Harvard. It was only 8 white people on the entire campus at Harvard. 8 black people. There were only 8 black people at Harvard. 4 of them were from Africa. So only 4 black people were at Harvard his 4 years he was there. His 4 years. And you know what? Those 4 black people scared white people at Harvard to death. Because if it's 4 black people now, it might be 10 black people later. It might be 20 black. And they're terrified to compete with us because you can't compete with us.
Salaki, if I may, on that.
1 second, Warrior. Because it's impossible to compete with us. That's the whole thing. That's it. That's white business in general. That's everything you've ever heard of. Them trying to stop competition. That's why ICE is in neighborhoods, because they're afraid to compete with Mexicans for jobs. They're terrified of it, and they can't compete. So instead, when you can't compete, you cheat. And that's what white people do with business. When you can't compete, you cheat. If you can't compete with the Mexican because of his work ethic and his skill, then you get rid of the Mexican and evict him off of his land and put him in prison, because when you can't compete, you cheat. I bar you. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say what you're saying is very heavy because that's basically how they do us now. Basically, they get the system basically that way, sir. Khan, you're absolutely right.
I think
and also, Salaki, I just wanted to clarify what I brought up about Joseph. What was the purpose of that being in the scriptures? Like, basically to show that that's what you do in a situation like that? Basically, just to paraphrase, they had to sell all their cattle when the money ran out. Then when the cattle ran out, they basically had to sell themselves to Pharaoh. So
that's what's going to happen when you go into debt. That's the point, which is why the Bible says that we are not allowed to use usury among our people. Debt is how you cripple a people and make them your servant, even if they're free. Even if they're free, they're going to be your servant if they're in debt. Exactly. Let me get another question from someone else. You got it, headquarters.
Milwaukee's got a question.
Milwaukee, there you go. I couldn't hear you at first, but now I can.
Shalom, Ottawa. I had a question on Ecclesiastes, these 4 and 21. One about I asked you this the other day. About I don't get that there is a shame which the glory and grace. I don't get that.
I'll break it down. Tell everyone where it is, and I'll have the brother read it for you, and I'll break it down. All right? Where are we at?
Ecclesiastes, chapter 4 and verse 21.
I believe it's Ecclesiasticus 4 and 21. Ephraim,
Yes.
Could you someone read it for him, please?
Tell him kind of Ecclesiasticus 4 and 21. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace.
There is a shame that brings sin, and then there's a shame that bringeth glory and grace. This scripture is talking about how you can use being sad and sorry for doing something to never do it again. Or you can use being sad and sorry for doing something to hide it, to lie, to make sure that no one knows that you did it. Can I give you two examples? It's imagine you steal something from someone. You steal, right? And you feel ashamed of it. You feel terrified because you stole something. So, but now because you stole something, you don't want the person to find out. So what do you have to do now, Milwaukee?
You have to hide it.
You have to lie. You have to say you already stole something. Then they say, well, did you steal? Did you steal from me? No, I didn't steal from you. No. So now I just lied and I stole from you. But then what if somebody saw me on video? What if somebody saw me on video stealing? Then what do I have to do to that person that saw me on video?
Lucky I don't want kill that person. Or
now I have to add murder to my theft. Doesn't that happen? That happens all the time. You go rob a bank. Now you have to kill the witnesses, don't you? So you now because you robbed the bank, now you got to kill the witnesses so that you don't go to jail for robbing the bank. That happens all the time, huh? You're so afraid, and that's a big thing, like robbing a bank, but it happens in a small way every day when people are doing things that are wrong. They don't want anybody to know because they're ashamed. So then they lie about it. Then they scheme about it. Then they cover up the lie. Then they disparage other people so that no one will believe that person when he reveals the fact that I lied. So now instead of, because you're ashamed of what you've done, it has now led to sin. Now you're going to now sin more and more to cover up the evil thing that you've done because you're ashamed of it. Now let me give you another one. Now you're a brother, you stole something, or I stole something, and I feel bad about it. But I don't want it to lead to sin. I'm going to go to you and say, I'm sorry, brother. Salakia, I stole from you. Please forgive me. Please take back double what I stole from you. Please let me work off my debt. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Now, my shame has brought me to glory. Do you understand? And that's what you have to do. You have to use a guilty conscience in your favor for your benefit. You can't let a guilty conscience make you just avoid punishment. That's what life is about for so many people out. They're living their whole life trying to avoid punishment, trying to never go to jail, trying to never get found out, trying to never be revealed for who they really are. And to make sure you don't get revealed, you're going to have to hurt people and lie and do more crime so that you're not found out. Or you can allow that guilty conscience to lead you to being a glorious person. A guilty conscience is a blessing. The Bible says this: bulls and bullocks want I not. The sacrifices of lambs I desire not. But the sacrifice of the Lord is a broken and contrite heart. a broken heart up. That's the shame that will lead you to being a better person up. I know for me personally, it's been an excellent tool for me up to just remember the things I did in the world, remember the people I hurt, and not think about it in a way like, I can't let anybody find out about it, but to think about it in a way that I owe a debt that I'm going to pay back if it takes the rest of my life. I'm going to pay this debt back. Pray you understand. You understand now? Is there anything else? No problem. Please, preguntas. Próximo.
So we got some questions in the chat. Brother asked, Salaki, sir, if I may, with your grace, could you break down Colossians 2:16? I had a Christian say this is why they have church on Sundays.
Oh, okay. Let's go ahead and read it.
Colossians 2 and verse 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of an holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days.
I got you. So he's saying that's why they break the Sabbath, because they don't let nobody judge you about the Sabbath. Is that what they're saying? Ask the brother in the class. Is that what they're saying?
We'll give him a minute to
just see what he's talking about. All right. That, of course, is not what that precept is talking about, young brothers. That, of course, is not what that precept is talking about. Let me give it to you real fast for time's sake, all right? There's only one way to not let anyone judge you, and that's by being innocent, right? Because if you commit a crime, then you absolutely are letting someone judge you because you committed a crime. So you cannot commit a crime. That's the only way to not be judged, right? This scripture is not saying commit the crimes and don't let anybody judge you. I don't know if that works like that, sweetness, because if I commit the crime, then I'm absolutely going to let somebody judge me. That's how I put myself in the position to be judged. That's not what that's talking about. What it's saying is let nobody judge you of the new moon, meaning what? Keep your dates correct. Make sure that your dates are right. The new moon is not talking about dancing around on the new moon. It's saying make sure you have the right date for the Passover. Make sure you have the right date for the high holy days. We just celebrated the Feast of Booths, and guess what? You can't judge us on the new moon because our dates are correct. Right. Absolutely correct. You can't judge us. Who in the hell can say our date is wrong for the Passover, for the new moons? You know, the hard work Commanding General Yohana and General Mayak go through an Ashaparium, go through to make sure those dates are correct. They're absolutely right. Absolutely right. You can't judge us on it. And you can't judge us on the Sabbath day. We don't let you. We don't let you judge us. Why? Because we keep the Sabbath. We keep it, which is on Friday night to Saturday night. And we're keeping it. We're keeping the Sabbath. We would never force anybody to work on the Sabbath. We would never force some poor brother to come to work all so we can satisfy our own greed and our own lust for money. That's breaking the Sabbath. We wouldn't do things like that. So you can't judge us for it. We won't let you. Pray you understand. That's all I can do. Christians, you don't know the Bible and you're stupid as hell. And here's the problem. I've been battling Christians in my service for Commanding General Yohana since N.W.O's first album came out. Did you hear that, Ephraim?
Yes, sir.
Since his first album came out with Cruising on it, and You Are My Lady, I was in the truth. Do you understand me? Under Commanding General Yohana. Well, let me tell you the problem with Christians is we have to constantly battle Christians over Bible verses that they don't give a damn about anyway. And over time, I begin to realize, why am I battling you about some Bible verse? You don't give a damn about this. You don't care. You don't go to church because of knowledge. That's not why you're in church. You're in church for the music. That's why you're there. You're in church for the show, for the fun, for the choir. You're in church to dance. You don't go to church because it's some place of information or knowledge and learning. You don't know anything about the Bible at all. You don't think about the Bible until I challenge you on the Bible. Then you go find some precept that is ridiculous to use on this topic because it makes no sense at all. All right, I gotta go. Was there anything else?
There's a question in the room.
Please.
Shalom, Lord in Christ, sir. Overall, like I've been noticing, I know the murder of Charlie Kirk happened about a month ago, and I see something like on social media in general that they're basically like trying to deify him and shaming people that celebrated his death. It kind of remind me a little bit going back to not too long ago when Luigi Mangione, the Edomite, murdered Brian Thompson, her first CEO, and people that celebrated his death were being shamed, and and meanwhile our people they're taking more and more from us, so eventually we have nothing. And it just kind of bothers me, and they're almost trying to like deify, like I said, Charlie Kirk, and just and not either completely ignoring or not caring the things he was saying about our people, and overall I end with this, in specific with a Bible verse, not a breakdown, but just more a question in Matthew 16 verses 13 through 16. Christ was talking to the disciples at Philippi, and when he asked them, who say ye that I am, Peter in verse 16 tells him, thou art the Christ. But before that, they will say, some say you're John the Baptist, Elijah, etc. Does that mean there was a culture there that believed in reincarnation?
That's exactly what it means, Zach. I mean, that's obvious, right? Some say he's Elijah. Some say he's this. They're saying that because Jesus Christ taught reincarnation. And so they're talking about reincarnation because they're wondering who he was in the past life because they believed in reincarnation. You understand? Can you hear me, Ephraim?
He said, come.
Sir.
But as far as your question, yo entiendo, I understand your question about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is absolutely being deified. And if you don't mind, I was going to go into that anyway at the end of class tonight. Okay, is that all right? Can you just stand by and I'll do it at the end? All right. Let me go ahead, Ephraim. You got it.
A quick shout out. We got more zones joining us. Colleen is here.
Hold up. Give Colleen a hand. Yeah. I see you, Colleen, Texas, getting it on out there. And Colleen, Commander General Yohana is coming down there soon, I think. Him to soon come down there to Colleen, Texas. When is the Texas barbecue?
So like you said, night.
So
like you said, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, that's actually Houston, sir. We're gonna be in Houston. Yes, sir. That's from October, I believe, 30th to November 2nd, sir.
October 30th to November 2nd. You better get down to Texas. You better get down to Big Texas, everybody. You better get down to Big Texas. Commander General Yohana will be out there. Oh, my goodness. Captain Yatazak, he's an excellent host. I don't know what we're going to do, but I bet it's going to be outstanding. I can only imagine the delights and excitements that Captain Yatazak has in store for them to come to Big Texas on what dates?
I believe, sir, it's October 30th to November 2nd, if I'm not mistaken.
Look it up online to confirm the dates, but we'll be out there. It's coming up soon, all right? Thawada, Colleen, you got it. Anything else?
We got Chicago here with us.
Chi-Town. Come on, Chi-Town. I see you out there, Warrior. Good to see you, Chi-Town. I'm glad you're here tonight, Ock, so we can go into the ice raids that are happening in Chicago. I've been watching the videos. They're disgusting. Our oppressor is exactly who we thought he was. Exactly who we've been saying he is since 1969. I wonder if people in Chicago know him a little better now than they did before. I wonder if the Christians in Chicago who reject the teachings of Commanding General Yohana, that he gets straight from the Bible, I wonder if now they believe what we say a little more now. We'll go into Chicago. You stand by because I'm going into what's going on in Chicago in a few minutes, all right? I can't hear you, but you'll get your mic straight before I come back to you, all right? You got it, Ephraim?
And we also have Montreal.
Wait, hold up. Up there where it's cold up north. Give him a hand, Doc.
Um,
Montreal from up north, up in Canada, man. Good to see you, Barack. How about Shimmy Al Shai Brother? Say that salute in French.
Salakia, Shalom, Yahweh, au nom de Yahweh Shai, soyez bénis.
Write that in the chat room so everyone can know how to salute in French. All right.
Karawakan, sir.
Good to see you, warrior. I'll be coming to you. If any of you brothers want to say anything, please say whatever you would like. All right. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Another question in the chat. Brother asked, does reincarnation mean that we are our ancestors? And does reincarnation and the judgment thereof work the same for the other nations?
Absolutely. It means that you are your ancestors. And let me tell you something. You know you're your ancestors. You ever hear somebody do this? You put us in slavery. You killed us. You lynched us. You hung us from trees. You ever hear that before? Everyone does that. Everyone does that. And every time I hear it, I wonder, do you know why you're putting that in the first person when you say that? You lynched us. You killed us. You put us in slavery. You didn't go into slavery. You weren't lynched. So why are you putting that in the first person? Why are you saying that? Because you were lynched. Because you were a slave. Because you are the voice of the ancestors alive again. You're the ancestors back, screaming for justice. The Bible says this in Genesis, the 4th chapter, when after Cain killed his brother Abel, the Lord came to Cain and he said, where is thy brother Abel? And Abel said, I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? With a fresh mouth to the Lord our God. The Lord said, the voice of thy brother crieth to me from the grave. The blood of thy brother screams to me from the grave. Every Black and Hispanic in the Israelite school of UPK, when you go out on the street and when you go on the internet and you say, you killed us, you enslaved us, you slaughtered us, you are the ancestor screaming for revenge. You're that man that was lynched, and you are crying out for justice. Crying out for justice. Yes, absolutely. Yes to your question. Is there anything else?
So a sister in the room wanted a breakdown of Deuteronomy 21 and verse 18 through 21. She said that she's heard people use this scripture to justify abusing their kids.
Oh, is that right? All right, go ahead and read it for me, please.
Khan. Deuteronomy 21 and 18. If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out to the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
Well, any abusive parent that is using this precept to abuse your child in secret, then go to child services and say, I'm killing my son. I'm beating my daughter to death because they're bad. The sister that's in the room, the Bible just said, go to the elders of the city. Go to them. I didn't read where it said, beat your child with an extension cord and then tell the child to lie about it when they ask him where all those whelps came from. I didn't hear that. It just said, go to the elders of the city and tell them my son is gluttonous and a wine bibber, and he will not listen. And the elders will stone him. If you're a parent that beats the hell out of your children, go tell child services. Tell the police. Tell them. Now, sister, will they do that? Will they go to the authorities over them and tell them, listen, I'm going to beat my son with an extension cord. I'm going to burn him with an iron like on Good Times. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Ephraim. You're too young for that. I shouldn't even have said that because that aged me. But there was an episode of Good Times where this woman burned her daughter with an iron because she was bad for some goddamn reason. Sister in the room, will the people that abuse their children, will they go to the authorities and tell them, yes, I abuse my child. I beat my child with extension cords. I burn them. Will they do that, sister in the room? I don't have time. Ephraim, is she answering?
Go ahead.
No.
No, they won't. Well, then they can't use this precept to justify abusing a child. And they can't use this because this precept didn't tell the parent to beat the child. This precept told the elders of the city to kill the child in a death penalty judgment. That's up to the elders. That's not up to you, to your parent. You just might be emotional. You just might be beating your child because white people beat your great-great-great-grandmother. That's the reason you beat your child the way you do. You see, I just did it again, Ephraim. Some Christian is using this precept to justify child abuse when this precept is not the reason that they're abusing their child. Right. Nobody says, I don't know what to do with my child. Let me look in the Bible and see what beat them with an extension cord. Oh, burn them with an iron. Oh, break their arm. Oh, okay, I see it now. You're not abusing your child because of a Bible verse. You're abusing your child because your mother abused you. You're abusing your child because your father abused you. Your father abused you because his father abused him. Your grandfather abused your father because his great-grandfather abused him. And there was some white man in the 1700s that beat some poor brother almost to death and taught him that's what men do. That's what a parent does. That's what a father figure does. You don't beat your child for any reason other than that. If you have a bad child, your child is bad, you bring him to us. We'll make the judgment. We'll decide what punishment. We might decide that your child has to go to jail. We might say, you know what, this kid isn't listening. We're going to put him in jail. We're going to deliver him to Satan, that through the purging of the flesh, the spirit might learn. That's in the Bible, sweet babies. That's in the Bible. We'll decide the judgment. If your child is so terrible that you think you have to break his arm or break her arm to make them listen, you bring him to the elders of the city, which is your camp leader, the captain over your zone. And then he'll follow the chain of command and we'll decide what's done with that child. You just find a way to get off of drugs because maybe you're beating your child because you need a cigarette. Maybe you're beating your child because you want to get high. Maybe you're beating your child because you're an alcoholic. Maybe that's the real reason that you're so frustrated and overwhelmed by what your child is doing, because you're jonesing for Oxycontin. You're jonesing for a drink. You better let us handle it, sweetness. Is there anything else?
That's the water. Shut the water. Like it says, more questions in the comments. Officer Nwanya Allah says, Shalom, sir, if I may, can I get a breakdown on Matthew 5:22, Baba Kashah, sir? Does this mean you can't call anybody a fool?
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Khan. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
There are precepts where it says to laugh at the fool, to mock the fool. No, this is not saying that you cannot call anyone a fool, but it is saying you cannot call someone a fool without cause. You have to have cause for saying a disparaging thing about another brother. You have to have a just cause for doing it. You can't call him a fool because you're angry at him over something that isn't wrong, because you're jealous of him, because you just don't like him. That's no reason to say a disparaging word about another brother. But you absolutely can call a brother a thief if he's stolen. You can call him a fool if he leaves the truth and does something stupid. Then you can call him a fool because you have just cause to do it, which is why the Bible says to bring him to counsel so that just cause can be established. If someone offends you, you bring him to counsel, and that counsel will judge him to be what the hell he is. Either he's an innocent man or he's guilty. And then he absolutely is the thing that he is judged. Then you can call him that thing. Now, if he repents, then of course he's to be forgiven, and you cannot call him that thing. But if he does not repent, he is that thing that he is. I pray you understand. Is there anything else?
Yes, sir. Ashkawar asks, Shalom, Adawan, Yahweh Shemiah Shai Barakatah. If I could, sir, can I get a breakdown on the excellent spirit in Proverbs 17 and 27?
Absolutely. Ashkawar is out there in California, which reminds me, brother, of the camp out in Northern California. Let's make sure we play that video up. Those brothers out in Northern California, you Charlie Kirk worshipers out there, I'll give you someone to venerate. I'll give you someone to follow. If you need someone to look up to, you better look up to the ISUPK Northern California, because they are heroes. They are heroes. And I'm going to show you today. All right. Let's read the precept for Ashkawar, please, out there.
Yes, sir. Proverbs 17 and 27. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit.
Forget about it. Listen, read it from the top. I'll break it down for me, Cardinal Ashkawar in Southern California. You got it.
Khan, sir. Proverbs 17 and verse 27. He that hath knowledge spareth his words.
He that hath knowledge spares his words. I wish I could teach this to a lot of you young brothers. I've tried, but it's of no avail. If you have knowledge, shut your mouth. You don't have to talk so goddamn much. You love to talk. And someone that loves to talk someone is going to find fault in what you're saying, because you're spilling a damn tornado of words on them. So you're not careful about what you say. You have to be careful about what you say. Why? Because you have knowledge. And many times you show that you have knowledge by knowing when to say nothing. And people can tell. The Bible says that even a fool will not be known he is a fool if he holdeth his tongue. If you shut your mouth, no one will know how stupid you are. But being stupid means you don't know enough to shut up. So there's the dilemma of you. That's your dilemma. But if you have knowledge, you will spare your words. You will say, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to word it this way. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just wait. I'll say it another day, another time, or not at all. He that has knowledge spares his words. Keep going.
And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit.
And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. What does it mean to have an excellent spirit? To have the spirit of Christ. To operate with other people the way Jesus Christ would. To do that. Jesus Christ is the example of having an excellent spirit. So all of us are trying to be like him. Are trying to do things the way that he would do things. Put New York up on the screen right here, if I could.
Sure.
Let me see you, Asha Paul. Let me see, Ephraim. Where you at? Put Ephraim on the screen. You see Ephraim right here? Ephraim has an excellent spirit. Give him a hand. That video out there with Captain Tazariak. This brother is the one that arranged that battle. Him. He did that. Ephraim out in New York arranged that battle that Captain Tazariak did that has about 600,000 hits on the internet right now.
It's about 900,000.
And Ephraim did that, and he does not discuss it. He don't talk about it. He don't take credit for it. But Captain Tazariak gives him credit for it. And Captain Tazariak told us that he did that. Captain Tazariak didn't do that. I didn't do it. This Ephraim went down. Ephraim, well, how did you arrange that video, How did you arrange that battle with Captain Desariak?
Like, sir, I did nothing. He reached out to the headquarters Instagram, which I manage. And we just took it for there. He reached out looking for an Israelite in Los Angeles. I said, I think Captain Desariak just so happens to be out there right now. I gave him a call. They weren't able to connect that day. He reached back out the next day, and I made sure they linked up.
Well, Ephraim, you have an excellent spirit because you're very humble. You're very humble, Ak. But Captain Desariak absolutely credits you for that interview, Ak. Well done, Ak. Well done, warrior. Give Ephraim a hand. Well done.
Sir, Captain Desariak deserves all the credit for that incredible video, which we're going to play clips of later.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ak. Outstanding. I'm ready to go with the next one when you're ready.
Colonel Khan, we have some more brothers who deserve a lot of credit.
No, let him on the side. Let him on the side. Only one. He don't need three of them. Rub his heart. Rub his temples. Has he had one? Has he had one? I don't know. But if they doing him another time, it ain't gonna do no good. This is one first time, bro. I'm up. My leg him all the way down. You need one more. I understand he is who he is. I mean, might have one more. He got a seat. Y'all sitting right here, bro. That's not my brother. Oh, yeah?
For life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man.
Rock, I tell you how I was shy. ISUPK Bay Area. ISUPK Bay Area, your heroes are. Your heroes. They went out there, and let me tell you, and they had Narcan with them. I don't know what captain or general said we should bring Narcan to every camp, but I remember in one of those councils where somebody said we should take Narcan to every camp. I don't know whose idea it was, but whoever had that idea, you're a hero. And to ISUPK Bay Area, you are a hero. What's the brother's name who was praying for him, the brother out there in Northern California?
I'm not sure the brothers.
Oh my God, those brothers out there, you're heroes, man. And you people in the world, when you see the ISUPK saving somebody's life at camp, you move the hell out the way. You don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know who that Jake in the world was with that stupid ass Chihuahua. The Chihuahua. What is the Chihuahua doing? Nigga, get your Chihuahua off of this nigga. Your Chihuahua is about to hump him to death. The brother has enough problems without being humped by your Chihuahua. Move out of the way and let the UPK save a man's life. Well, thank the Lord for you brothers out there. You white people, you got to see what's happening. You venerate the wrong people. You uplift and deify people that are not good people. If you want someone to model yourself after, young men, model yourself after the ISUPK Bay Area because they save lives. Rakatha Yahweh Yahushua. Well done. Well done, warrior. Well done. Go ahead, Ak. Next.
Colonel Khan, sir, we got another question in the chat. Brother says, this is Shamyaba, is Romans 11:24 talking about Israel being the wild olive tree?
All right, let's see. I believe he's correct, but let's double check. All right. Go ahead.
It's 11 and verse 24. For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to nature into
let me just answer it. Con. Absolutely. Yes. See. This is speaking about Israel. Israel is the wild olive tree. Israel is the olive tree that is not wild. This is speaking about the unification of the northern and the southern kingdom. The wild olive tree is the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom is the olive tree that's in the gardener's garden. They're going to come together. They're going to be one tree, the nation of Israel. Las dos tribus de la nación de Israel.
Salaki, sir.
Las 12 tribus de la nación de Israel. You got it up.
Salaki, sir. I remember Captain Zaryak broke this down. I just wanted to clarify the olive, scientifically speaking, you can't, he was explaining the olive tree would have to be the exact same olive tree, like scientifically speaking. Is that true or?
That is true. You couldn't graft an apple tree with an olive tree. The thing would just die. But you could graft a wild olive tree with a garden olive tree, and they come together and they make perfect olive tree with traits of both, which is what the 12 tribes, las 12 tribus de la nación de Israel, which is what we are. 12 tribes with different cultures and different languages in most cases, but with a spirit and a culture that when it's unified is glorioso, is perfect. You understand?
Concert. So in a battle, I could basically ask, can you graft an apple tree to an orange tree? Or basically
absolutely you could do that. Yeah. I mean, the person you're battling is a crackhead dummy, so he won't know what the hell you can do with gardening, but you'll have to tell him.
Right.
He's a Christian. He won't know. But you'll have to explain it to him. All right?
Concert.
Go ahead.
Colonel Khan. Quick shout out to Trinidad joint.
Who is that?
Trinidad.
Trinidad, the bad man up there in Trinidad. I see you, Trinidad. Get it on out there, Akim. If you want to say anything, Trinidad, just let us know, all right? Go ahead.
And this could be a good time to get into your topic, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and do that then. I can tell you why y'all was shy. Start wherever you would like, all right?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna pull this file up. We can start in Chicago, sir.
Describe it as a war scene. Windows and doors blown off as dozens of people living at a South Shore apartment, including children, were detained by federal agents during targeted immigration enforcement.
They pulled up in budget trucks, SWAT tanks.
The sound of flashbangs startles a community out of its sleep in the Citizen app video.
This is crazy. It felt like we were under siege last night.
As federal agents were seen marching through the streets of South Shore early Tuesday morning.
My building is shaking, so I'm like, what is that? Then I look out the window, it's a Black Hawk helicopter.
I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other.
The FBI confirming to ABC7 as agents were helping Border Patrol carry out a targeted immigration enforcement operation at this apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive.
As I was walking from the bus, I was headed to my apartment. As I got to my unit to stick my key in the door, I was grabbed by an officer. And I said, what's going on? What's going on? He never actually told me. He just said I was being detained.
They like padding all us up in the back there on the other side. And it wasn't no room to move nowhere.
They had the black people in one van and the immigrants in another van.
Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Gregory Bovino with his officers speaking on the ground in an exclusive interview with News Nation.
How about you live in the apartment next door to Trinidad Aragua members that are trafficking and prostitution, guns, drugs, and taking advantage of American citizens in a violent way.
Destruction left behind inside the complex with doors blown off of their hinges and holes left in the walls. Immigrant advocates and elected officials gathering to condemn the overnight operation.
We're trying to bring people in and trying to fight so we can all stay in this neighborhood, but that can't happen when we have people pulling us out of our beds at night.
While immigrant advocates say they believe about 30 to 40 people were detained, federal authorities have not confirmed that number, so it's unclear how many people were held and possibly arrested.
Chicago, are you there?
Khan, sir.
Chicago, what would you like to say about this? Now, break it down for us. I know you have firsthand knowledge of what's happening down there in Chicago. Go ahead, bro.
Khan, sir. Well, that particular story, sir, that happened not too far from where I actually live. You know, I have friends in that neighborhood, everything, and one of the things that it didn't show, it said how they had the kids zip tied together. They zip tied the kids together. There was a baby or a couple children that were half dressed. There was even a baby that was completely naked, and they wouldn't let the mother clothe the child. They took the children and separated them from the parents and put them in a budget renter truck, in the back of a renter truck, away from the parents. And as they were doing that and people were complaining, one of the Edomite ICE agents stood there and looked at everybody and said, F them kids.
Yes, he did. I think I saw that on video.
Connor Wakan.
One of the ICE agents said, F those kids. And zip-tied the children, meaning handcuffed half-naked children. Keep going, Warren.
Go ahead.
If I may, too, as well, General. I work at the Ford Motors, the Ford assembly plant, where the past couple of days, I think since Monday, we've had a lot of, the ICE agents coming around. We got a lot of Haitians and Hispanic brothers and sisters that slaves there. And we've had so many call-offs because they're so afraid to come into work, thinking that, they're going to get captured on their way to work, or they're scared for their family and their kids to go outside without them being at home. So they literally terrorizing these brothers and sisters in Chicago right now.
Khan.
Please go ahead, Chicago. You want to say anything else?
Khan, sir. And also a lot of the videos that everyone's been seeing with the protesters clashing with the ICE agents outside of their facility, where you're seeing the smoke bombs and the tear gas and all that chaos that's going on. Adawan, that's about 5 blocks away from our school. Literally getting off the expressway, we pass by that almost every single day. And they are upgrading it. They put cement barricades around it. They put fences up. They have the guys on the roof patrolling. And some nights when you get off of the expressway, they have about a 3-block radius blocked off where you cannot go, unless you live in his houses there. So if you don't live in one of those houses across from the ICE facility, you cannot drive down the road for about 3 or 4 blocks, as they blocked it off when you're getting off the expressway. So they're blatantly targeting Chicago. Slack sir. And they're amping up and ramping up. They shot a Hispanic brother and unalived him. I saw another story where they accused a Hispanic sister of trying to ram one of their vehicles. They shot her 5 times and arrested her for assault on a federal agent and labeled her a domestic terrorist. These are the things that they're doing, and they've come to Chicago to do it, to try to incite some violence against them. And then I believe, Saga, sir, in my humble opinion, they're trying to get Chicago put under martial law. Yeah. And they're ramping up their violence and their disregard for the people and their so-called rights, and they're just running out after everybody and everything, hoping that someone is going to shoot one of these agents, or unalive one of these agents, and that'll give them the perfect excuse to send in the Navy. You know what I mean? And put Chicago under martial law. Salaki Adawan.
What give Chicago a hand, what you're saying is absolutely the truth, and so true. And I don't know if Black people in the world, Black Christians out there, truly understand how for years, so many years, everything that you've heard about yourself that you believed was really white people talking to other white people to justify killing you. Like the whole myth, let me give you a great myth that's the reason that Chicago is under attack. The myth of Black on Black crime. We always heard about that. The myth of it. Probably your entire life, you heard Black people are killing each other. Black people have Black on Black crime. And as you're sitting in Chicago, or you're in a gang neighborhood, or you're in some neighborhood seeing crime, you're probably thinking it's true that Black people do have a problem with Black on Black crime. Black people do have a problem with gangs. Brother, you had no idea of what an evil race that sits over top of you. Son un nación odiosa, liderada por un hombre odiosa. This nation is a hateful nation led by a hateful man. The myth of black on black crime, people don't talk about that because they care about gang violence. They're trying to tell white people when we kill them, we're justified in doing it. When we bring tanks into their neighborhood, we're justified in doing it. Why is there no such thing as white on white crime? Does that mean white people don't kill each other? Is that what that means? Why is there no such thing as Chinese on Chinese crime? Why is there no such thing as Russian on Russian crime? Why is there no such thing in Chicago as Italian on Italian crime? Are you telling me when Al Capone killed about 15 people during the St. Valentine's Day massacre, that wasn't Italian on Italian crime? No one called it that. No one called it that. When Al Capone killed what? 1,000 people himself in Chicago, no one said, this is Italian on Italian crime. No one uttered those words because they didn't have a plan on killing every Italian. They wanted to assimilate the Italians. They wanted to give them the construction industry and the police force and the firemen's department. They wanted them to share in America, so they did not demonize them. But they demonized the gangster disciples, the vice lords, and the black disciples and black on black crime, not because they ever had a plan on fixing it, but so that every white man that hears about it would say, when they kill young people in Chicago, it's justified. They should be doing it. But let me tell you, brothers, in something. Amor vencerá al odio. Amor vencerá al odio. Love will conquer hate in Chicago, brother. You brothers in Chicago love each other. Amarse. Amarse nosotros. Love each other. We love each other. And in doing so, brother, we're going to conquer our enemies. We're going to conquer them, regardless of their ability to be cruel, while we have no ability to be cruel. And here's the stupidest thing in the world. Do you know why Chicago is being targeted in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C.? Not because of gun violence, not because of crime, but because you did not vote for Donald Trump. That's it. That's all. This attack on American citizens is petty at its root. It's simply a big, fat, swollen-footed pig who is angry because you didn't vote for him, and he has to make you pay for it. You know, Donald Trump is invading Chicago with troops and ICE agents and the military, and Donald Trump just invaded Venezuela. Give me that video of Rand Paul talking about how Donald Trump is gunning down boats in Florida. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump that you have to face about him, because what's in the core of Donald Trump is in the core of all white people. All white people don't feel any emotion other than anger. They don't feel it. They don't feel remorse. They don't have a conscience. They don't feel happiness. They don't feel sadness. White people feel anger. That's what they feel. That's the only emotion that they can translate into action, which is why they love Donald Trump, because Donald Trump represents the core of what our oppressor is, an angry, brutal animal. Now, you don't believe me? He's invading Los Angeles. He's invading Chicago. Why isn't Donald Trump invading China? Huh? Bring me up full screen. Why isn't Donald Trump invading China? You telling me that he's trying to get rid of Trente Agua, whatever that is. I never even heard of that gang. Trente Agua. He's trying to get rid of the gangster disciples, the Bloods. Why aren't you trying to get rid of the laboratory in Wuhan, China, that released the COVID-19 virus and killed 3 million Americans?
Right.
Why aren't you invading China? Donald Trump, with all of your talk about defense and defending America, you're not going to at least blow up the laboratory that the COVID-19 virus came out of? You said it was a China virus. You said China sent the COVID-19 virus to America. Donald Trump has done nothing to China. Nothing. He hasn't sent one stupid gang of Navy SEALs to China to do anything to them at all.
Right.
But he invades Chicago. But he invades Los Angeles. But he invades Washington, D.C. China killed 3 million people with the COVID-19 China virus. Donald Trump invades his own country.
Right.
Donald Trump invades his own country instead of invading China, because Donald Trump will never fight China because Donald Trump is afraid that China would win. Someone talking? Hold your point 1 second. He's invading China. He will never invade China because he's too much of a pussy to invade China. He's a punk. He'll never invade a country that he thinks might win. So instead, to be safe, he just invades his own country. He just does that. What type of president invades his own damn country? His own country. And he doesn't invade a country that sent the COVID-19 virus to America that killed 3 million people. It's the China virus. That's what Donald Trump called it, the China virus. Donald Trump is the Kung flu. That's what he called it, correct. He called it the Kung flu, the China virus. Then he became president and did nothing to China. You invade America instead. You invade Chicago instead. You handcuff naked babies, but you do not attack Wuhan, China. Put Chicago back up on the screen. No problem. I think I understand you white people, but guess what? Amor vencerá al odio. Amor vencerá al odio. Son una nación odiosa. Liderada por un hombre odioso. This is an evil, hateful nation led by a hateful man. That's all it is. But Chicago, rest assured, don't worry. Don't worry, brother. In the end, you're going to win. I'll explain at the end of the class tonight. Keep going.
Slack, to your point in those cities, he said this week, he repeated this week, that if Zoran Mamdani becomes mayor of New York, he's going to do the same thing to New York.
Yes. Donald Trump, listen, Donald Trump told Washington, D.C. to change the name of their football team back to the Redskins. They better do it. They did not change the name back. He sent in the Marines to Washington, D.C., I think 2 weeks later. That's it. Like, this is not about gangs or crime or anything. And you white people, you put me back up full screen. You're so disgusting. You don't even understand this. You're like the Sadducee and Pharisee. You can't stop crime by committing crime. That's what the Pharisee thought. The Pharisee thought, well, there's so much crime out here, I'm going to commit some crime. And that's how we'll stop crime. There's so much murder, I'm going to start murdering people because then the murders will stop. You can't stop crime with crime, white people. You can't stop crime by having the police commit more crime and the federal government commit more crime. Heroes stop crime. Kindness stops crime. Kindness, compassion, having a conscience is what stops crime. So you can never stop it because you devils have no conscience. Let me show you. Let me let you hear a white man say it, Chicago. Listen to this carefully, Chicago. When you want to know why ICE agents are in Chicago, this is Rand Paul. He's a United States senator from Kentucky. And he's going to speak about the fact that the United States has killed, I think, about 15 or 20 boats. They sent missiles and killed everyone on these boats because these people on these boats are allegedly carrying drugs. Now they haven't been to court. The boats haven't been seized to even see what's on the boat. From the sky, they say this boat has drugs and they kill everyone on the boat. Well, this is what Rand Paul has to say about it, a United States senator. Play.
We did discover today that the Coast Guard, when they interdict boats, it's a common thing off the coast of Miami and California. Yeah. About 25% of the time, the boat that they board doesn't have drugs on it. So they have made an error, but they don't kill them. But we've blown up 4 boats now, and if the percentages hold true, did one of those 4 boats not have drug dealers on it? If they all had drug dealers on it, the first 11 they killed, what were their names? What was the evidence linking them to being part of a gang? So I think there's a lot of unknowns here, and I don't think you can have a universal Coast Guard policy of just blowing up boats before they're interdicted. There's, decades-long history of how we board boats. We say, halt, stop, we will board your boat. If they don't halt and stop, there's an escalation of use of force. But we don't just blow ships up. So there is a real problem. And yes, I think it might lead to regime change. And some of the more skeptical among us think that maybe this is a provocation to lead to real regime change, a provocation to get the Venezuelans to react so we can then insert the military. I hope that's not true.
Would you support a War Powers Act?
Put Chicago up on the screen. Chicago, that's exactly what you just said. That is exactly, Rand Paul just said exactly what you said, Chicago. Did you hear that, Chicago?
Sir.
He said the same thing. He said, back before that, when they used to board a boat or pull a boat over and search them for drugs because they thought they had drugs on them, 25% of the time, there were no drugs. They were wrong, which is normal. You pull somebody over, you think he's drunk, he's not drunk. You pull somebody over, you think he has an illegal gun in the car, he doesn't. That could happen, right? Well, that would happen 25% of the time. Now they just kill everybody on the boat. So if the percentages hold true, 25% of these boats are innocent and there's nothing on the boat. But they're not pulling the boat over. They're not searching the boat. They're just killing everyone on the boat. And the senator said they're doing it to provoke them, to provoke that government so that they can attack back. Because once someone is unjustly attacked, nature says that you will defend yourself. They're hoping they'll do that so that they can invade Venezuela. Well, that's what's happening in Chicago. They're not in Chicago for criminals. They're in Chicago for the citizens. They want to kill the citizens in Chicago. They want to turn the citizens in Chicago into people who shoot at ICE agents so that they can say, there's those black criminals we've been telling you about since the 80s. That's them. That's why we've been telling you about them since the 80s. That's the reason. What you're saying is so true, Ak, but this is what white people don't know. Our love is going to conquer hate. You know how many times nations have sought to destroy us and conquer us? Fierce nations, Ak. Fierce nations that don't regard the old or the young. They've always tried to destroy us, and we are still here. That's what you white people don't never understand. You never get that. You never understand that your cruelty is nothing in the place of our compassion. Our compassion is so big that the Lord that sits in heaven defends us from your cruelty. You're going to see it happen in Chicago. It's going to happen. It always happens, all the time. Chicago, you want to say anything else?
Colonel McCon, Sir Salagi, if I could. One of our sisters out here made a point. If they were so looking for illegal immigrants and criminals, as they said, so we out in Chicago, we have Chinatown, we have Ukraine Village, we have Greek Town, we have the Lithuanian Plaza, we got Little Italy, we got whole swathing sections where Africa, they haven't even named it, but I call it Little Africa. You know what I mean? They haven't gone into any of these areas at all. They're strictly focusing on our Hispanic brothers, and now they're coming into our neighborhoods. That story about 75th and South Shore, where they descended on that building, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Adawan, you could count, over in South Shore, you can count on one hand how many Hispanic brothers and sisters lived in that building. That was their first assault on us, because the thing they didn't say in the news, what they didn't say promote, is that for all the black brothers and sisters and children and women that they took, they said if you had a warrant, they weren't letting you go. So they got them into that building talking about warrant searches and illegal migrants, and then they didn't let brothers and sisters who had bench warrants they didn't let them leave the ICE facility. Lord knows they may still be there right now. I think you had something?
Yeah, if I may too as well, General. What we are seeing out here in Chicago is the leadership of the Chicago law enforcement is totally going against the Brandon Johnson, the mayor, and the Pritzkers that's out here in Chicago. They totally go against this ICE raids. But the police, when you go out there and see these raids, the Chicago police is out there assisting them in these raids, and they picking up the scavengers, whoever have warrants. The things that they can grab them and arrest them on is actually like a joint force when you actually see the raids out here in Chicago.
What you warriors are saying is so true. It's the truth. And of course, they need money from the federal government, so they're not going to go against it because of money. This whole thing, everyone that does it, that's involved in this, they're not involved in it to make Chicago better. They're involved in it to get money. All of them will get money, which is why, bring me back full screen again, which is why, let me tell you something. When you see an ICE agent that is handcuffing a half-naked child, a 5-year-old, what you should ask yourself first is, what kind of man would do a job like this? What kind of man would take money knowing that his supervisor is telling him, handcuff the 5-year-olds in their pajamas, handcuff the 5-year-olds in diapers and in nothing else, handcuff them? What type of person would do this job? A person of no compassion, no conscience, and no morals. And that's why ICE agents wear a mask, because they are terrible people. And let me tell you something. We have to do all we can to unmask these ICE agents. And we need somebody's help. Someone has to help us unmask the ICE agents. And I'll tell you whose help we need. We need the help of white women who are married or girlfriends of ICE agents. You have to help us. These ICE agents have girlfriends. They have women they're married to. And you know your husband beats you. You know your husband has 3 DUIs. You know your husband has abused your children. You know that. Women, if you are married to an ICE agent, or if you are the girlfriend of an ICE agent and he beats you, and you've called the police 3 times on him, and nothing has happened, tell the world who is behind that mask. We're going to need the help of white women to do this. You white women who are married to ICE agents, you white women who are the girlfriends of ICE agents, tell the world who is behind that mask. Tell everyone that he beats you. Anyone that takes a job to handcuff a 5-year-old naked baby is absolutely beating his girlfriend. Absolutely doing it. He is absolutely has 3 DUIs. He drives drunk. He abuses his stepchildren. If you are a stepchild of an ICE agent and you know he beats you and he gets drunk and he molests you, tell everyone who is behind the mask. You have to do it. It's important that you do it because you know this man personally and he is hiding his face from the public, but he is beating us and shooting us and handcuffing our children, but you sleep in the bed with him. You're his ex-girlfriend and you left him because he molested your daughter. Are you telling me that an ICE agent isn't molesting children? They absolutely are. That's why they don't feel anything for those kids that they see who are crying with their blankets as they handcuff them, because they molest children. If you are the ex-girlfriend of an ICE agent, if you are the wife of an ICE agent, if you are a child who was molested by an ICE agent, if your mother was dating an ICE agent and he molested you and beat you, tell everyone who is behind that mask. It's your moral duty. I pray you understand. Let's keep going. Ibaja, what do you want to say?
Basically, I don't know if you had heard. Basically, all the journalists tied to what's now referred to as the Department of War left out of the department because the administration changed the way that they report on the Department of War. Yeah. I saw that even before we talked about Chicago, and it's like, that's interesting. So everything that the military does is now we're going to know less about it than we already did.
Yeah. That's not going to work. That old Homelander they have over there, Pete Hegseth, Homelander. That stupid plan of his is not going to work. He exiled all of the reporters out of the Department of Defense, and now he thinks that's going to
moving day
stop.
at the Pentagon
He
today.
thinks that's going to stop the stories. Go ahead and play it, Oxalaki.
Access badge. It was moving day at the Pentagon today, but it wasn't a happy one for reporters. Reporters, dozens of them, turned in their access badges and moved out of the Pentagon rather than agree to new restrictions on how they work imposed by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The Pentagon wanted them to sign off on new rules that would subject them to being thrown out of the building just for reporting on things that the Defense Secretary has not approved previously. Journalists.
Pete Hegseth, let me talk to Pete Hegseth for a second. Pete Hegseth, you're an idiot, and you should research something called the Pentagon Papers. Back during the administration of Richard Nixon, the Pentagon was tight-lipped and closed about the Vietnam War and the causes for the Vietnam War. But there was someone who wanted to speak to the press, and his code name was Deep Throat. That was his code name. And Deep Throat met with these two journalists. What was it? Something in Bernstein. I think it was Edward and Bernstein or something in Bernstein. Two reporters from the Washington Post. And they met this informant in a underground garage. They met him in an underground garage. This is before cell phones. Right. This is before email. So they met him in person in the darkness, in the shadows of a underground garage in Washington, D.C. And say again.
If I may, sir, that's probably where all the movies get it from, where it's always some dark garage where they're meeting.
Yeah, that's what happened. And he met them, and his code name was Deep Throat. And he gave Woodward, that was his name, Woodward and Bernstein. And this informant from the Pentagon, whose code name was Deep Throat, he met them in a garage, and he gave them all of the paperwork, everything they needed to unravel all of the lies of the Nixon administration. And later on, I think about 20, 30 years later, it came out that this was some Navy officer, a high-ranking Navy officer. Let me tell you something, Pete Hegseth. The reporters don't need to be in the Pentagon to talk to your colonels and admirals and lieutenants and generals. They're going to call them on the phone, you fucking dummy. They don't need to be in the Pentagon. They're going to meet them at a restaurant in a dark back room and tell them everything. This idiot thinks by kicking the reporters out of the Pentagon that the colonels and generals aren't going to talk to reporters. Idiot, they're going to call them on the phone. They're going to meet them for drinks at the Watergate Hotel, at one of those nice restaurants in D.C. They're going to go into a back room. They're going to be in a car, in a dark car somewhere. What's that park down there in Washington, D.C. everybody goes to? Rock Creek Park? I forget the name of that park. I think it's called Rock Creek Park. They're going to meet him in Rock Creek Park in a car and give them all the information about the dirt and crime that Pete Hegseth is committing. Kicking the reporters out the White House, out the Pentagon will do nothing because they'll just go to the reporter's house. They'll just go there, you dumbass Homelander, fake tough guy. Keep going. Let me move. I got to move on there, Badger. I'm tight with my time now. Go ahead. Come on. We got damn near none of the stories done we're supposed to do. Go ahead. I think we're good with the Chicago. I think we're good here. Go ahead. Chicago, you want to say anything else? Let's keep going. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. Colleen sent me this video. I don't know if you saw this. This Edomite pastor went viral a couple of weeks ago for talking about Black culture. And I guess he saw an opportunity after going viral. So now he went a step further.
If I could, I think we're going to do that. Let's do this in Texas.
Come on.
I think Colleen told me he wanted to wait for this in Texas. We're going to go into this MAGA pastor that calls for executing rebellious black youth, citing death by stoning in the Old Testament. This is just some white man that wants to take Charlie Kirk's position in the white world. We'll be in Texas in a few weeks. We're going to bring that out then. I believe that's what he called me and told me. Let's try to get to the other ones, but we will be doing that, Pastor, and telling you the truth about that devil soon. Am I missing any questions I need to go through, or you want to run through the videos?
We can keep going through the videos.
Keep going.
Speaking of
Say to
conservative
you
pastors.
Look at this.
that whatever you believe in, or even if you disagree with somebody, man, the scriptures give us no license to take pleasure or delight in the murder of another human being, not even your own enemies. For the scripture teaches us that we should not glory in the calamity of other human beings. And what we have seen on this week is the full display of just evil and the full display of ignorance and ungodliness of people who even call themselves Christians that celebrate the murder of other people. That even if my enemies died, I have enough character to not celebrate the death of my enemies. And that some of us should just get off of social media, because what we're doing is making our ignorance palpable. And this week I've seen the ugliness of our race, the human race. And if there's ever a time for us to lean into the words of God, we should lean into what God said during the days of Solomon after he built that temple. We should lean into these words, because I'm telling you, even as a conservative, hear me.
Stop. Now I understand. Can you imagine this week in Atlanta, Georgia? Put Atlanta up on the screen if you could. Is Atlanta still with us? Atlanta, are you there?
Khan, sir.
Atlanta, who in the hell is this homo up on the screen? I've never heard of him. I just started hearing about him 2 weeks ago. But he's head of some church, the 2019 church. Is that right?
Khan, sir.
Break him down for me and tell me about him. This much I know from the video. He is a black conservative, so he supports Donald Trump, which means he supports the ICE agents wearing masks who handcuff little children, who handcuff naked babies, who invade black neighborhoods and denigrate them. He's a conservative. He's a Donald Trump supporter. And I heard thousands of black people came down to his church during Gay Pride weekend in Atlanta. Am I right? And if so, elaborate.
Khan, sir. This is my first time hearing about this church. I didn't find out till about yesterday. So I really couldn't. But I've heard about that, that he was a supporter of that.
Listen, you heard he's a supporter of what?
Of the the LGBT movement.
How could he not be? That's something that's true of Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and liberals. All of them are gay. They're just all gay. The liberals are outwardly gay. The conservatives keep it secret on Grindr. They don't want anybody to know. The Speaker of the House, I forget his name, Mike something. He is clearly a closeted gay man. I mean, it's obvious. And this pastor of the 2819 church, he's a gay man. Listen, just sit back and wait for the scandal. There's a scandal coming with this preacher of him being with little boys or men. It's going to happen. Just like every other Atlanta famous preacher. I mean, they go back to the tradition of Martin Luther King. Every Atlanta famous preacher, eventually you find out that they are a sexual deviant. Starting with Martin Luther King, then you can take it straight to what's that cat that used to run with Martin Luther King? A gay smart man.
Oh, you talking about
Raynard Rustin.
Bayard Rustin.
Baird Rustin. Then you take it to T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes is in Atlanta as well, correct?
Sir.
Then you take it to Eddie Long, who's a famous closeted gay man, died of AIDS. Then you take it to the one they got there now. What's that? Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant, sir.
One of Eddie Long's boyfriends. That's how Jamal Bryant got his start. Eddie Long gave $250,000 to Jamal Bryant for him to go to Morehouse College, and he did not even have a high school diploma. But another gay man from Morehouse got him into Morehouse College. This is something that always happens. And this preacher of the 2819 church, sit back and wait for the gay scandal. It's coming. It's going to happen. He's a gay Republican, a gay black Republican, and he is going to betray. He's going to betray black people for money and gain because he has no character at all. I think you understand. Atlanta, you want to say something else?
Colonel, sir.
Please.
The young man, he just informed me that, this pastor, Philip Anthony, he's like one of the biggest leaders against the Hebrew Israelites, against the Israelites, sir.
Is that right? Well, I heard about that. I think that's because he's in a battle with the purple pigs, Sacerdos Marados, the purple pigs, over who is going to be the black Republican that can get money from the Republican Party. I don't know if you know about this, but the IUIC, they're also black conservatives. They're black Trump supporters. The IUIC. They're absolutely black Trump supporters, which is why they send armies of men into black neighborhoods to oppress and scare black people. Who else does that? ICE does that. The federal government does the same thing that the IUIC does. Send armies of men into black neighborhoods to scare them and intimidate them. Donald Trump does the same thing. I think I had a video of them doing it in Oklahoma. If you don't have it, I'll play it in Texas. But what you're saying is correct. This 2819 church and Nasty Nate, who was also a gay man, Nasty Nate of the IUIC, he's also a gay man who loves Atlanta and loves the gay movement in Atlanta. You brothers in the UPK out there in Atlanta, you like a lot in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's
right,
what
right,
you are a lot. You are one righteous man. Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember, the angels came to Abraham and they said, "Will thou spare the city if thou found 10 righteous men?" The angel said, "All right, if I found 10 righteous men, I'll spare the city." But when they went to that city, they found one righteous man, just Lot. They found him. So the city had to be destroyed. But Lot and his family were delivered from that wicked place. You brothers in ISUPK Atlanta, you are just Lot. That's what you are. Just men in a city who is solely given over to sodomy, to Sodom and Gomorrah, and you're going to be delivered out of that city. You're going to be delivered. Well done, ISUPK Atlanta. I can't wait to get back to Atlanta, Georgia. I ain't been there in a while. I'm planning on. I'm gonna see if I can get permission to go to Atlanta, Georgia soon. Here's the cities I would like to go to next: Atlanta, Georgia, Trinidad. I can feel the feeling of getting out to Trinidad, and Atlanta, Georgia, and there's a couple of other ones also that I'm thinking about. But Atlanta, you're on the list. All right, well done, Atlanta. Did you want to say anything else?
Talking to that's it, sir.
You got it, Warriors. Well done. The brave out there in Atlanta. Go ahead, Akim. Go ahead, Ephraim.
Sir, they got a whole gay black church in Atlanta now. They got let
me tell the truth on people if I could. Every church in Atlanta is gay. Every last one. Every church in Atlanta is gay. Every church is gay. That's something every church anywhere, every church in New York is gay. Every church in Los Angeles is gay. Every church in Philadelphia is gay. You cannot have Christianity without homosexuality. The two go hand in hand. They are brother and sister. Homosexuality and Christianity. Every church is gay in Atlanta. Everyone understand. What the sister say? Christy Judd said the pastor and the first man. Yeah, you right about that, Christy Judd. The pastor and the first man. Listen to that shit. The first man. R.O. What did he say? I missed that one.
That's a General Q.
Oh, General Q said Pastor Manning. He's another gay one. They all gay. They can't stop being gay. That's the only reason they even go to church is because there's so many gays there. Next.
Come on, sir.
See what is showing up in your algorithm. Those who will say, don't make your race an idol. Don't worship being black. Never once.
What's this cat's name?
That's
This is Jamal Bryant trying to come against the 2819 church. They're all fighting for white dollars. The 2819 church wants the white conservative money, and Jamal Bryant wants the white liberal money. They're both gay, but they're all fighting for the money from their particular political movement. None of them serve God. None of them will last. All of them will fall like Sodom and Gomorrah. All of them. But the ISUPK Atlanta will be delivered from that wicked city. Continue. Anything else?
And Charlie Kirk, I didn't like the fact that they did that. I was upset with Charlie Kirk over that, but I never talked to him about it, so it wasn't a big deal. If I really was mad enough, I would have called him. But I was like, it's all right, man. If y'all they don't want me to speak because of something else. When they got Tucker up here talking bad about Jews, I said it is what it is.
Right there.
That's not my problem.
This is such an Uncle Tom. I've seen some Uncle Toms in my day. But this cat here, what's his name again?
Officer Tatum.
Officer Tatum. This is Officer Tatum, who is an Uncle Tom of the highest magnitude. The highest. He is complaining because he is the biggest supporter of white supremacy. He hates black people. He constantly is paid to vilify black people. And in his mind, he thought that would earn him the right to speak at Charlie Kirk's funeral. Come to find out, he was not invited to Charlie Kirk's funeral. Neither was Candace Owens, who is another Uncle Tom. She didn't get invited either. And he is so disappointed. He's heartbroken. He's dejected and disillusioned because he was not invited to Charlie Kirk's funeral. So many of you black conservatives out there, your heart was broken because you just knew that when Charlie Kirk died, you would be elevated because you've helped your master so much. You fought black people. You faced, criticism from your own people, and you made so many white supremacists happy by hearing a black-faced be a white supremacist. By seeing a black person be a white supremacist, you thought that would make white people love you. Come to find out, Charlie Kirk, his foundation didn't even invite you to come to the goddamn funeral. And they did invite Tucker Carlson, who was against Charlie Kirk and against Turning Point. They invited him. Let me tell you, you black conservatives, something. That head of that 2819 church, he's a black conservative. You want white people to love you. And in your mind, this is what you think. You think that the only reason that white conservatives don't love black people is because we're so evil. We're criminals. We're gangbangers. We don't go to church. We're not righteous. We don't love our white Jesus. You think that black people have earned racism. You think that we have earned the hatred of white people. So you try to be a good black person. You say, I'm going to be a good one. I'm not going to be like those niggers in Chicago, like those niggers in Washington, D.C., like those niggers and spics in Los Angeles. I'm going to be a good person, a good nigger. And then my master will love me. And your heart was broken when Charlie Kirk's foundation didn't even invite you to the funeral. Didn't even invite, what's that broad's name?
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens didn't even invite Candace Owens to the funeral. These black conservatives were devastated because you think you can earn the love of white people by making sure that you distance yourself from your black heritage. Come to find out, black people are hated not because they're criminals, not because they're gangbangers. They hate you because they are jealous of your lineage. They hate you for the same reason that Esau hated Jacob in the Bible. They hate you because God loves you. That's why white people hate you. White people don't hate you because you don't have a job and you're not a good Christian and you don't go to church. They don't hate you for that. White people hate black people because God loves black people. White people hate Hispanics because God loves them. And at times like this, when you expected to be loved by them, you expected a reward for being a traitor to your own race, they betrayed you. And they showed you that they don't love you no matter what you do. Embrace that, Officer Tatum. Embrace that, Candace Owens. Embrace that, IUIC. Embrace that, 2819 church. Face it. And then you might come back home to the only people that have a capacity to love. La Raza. Blacks and Hispanics, we're the only people that can love you. And then you'll come back home. If not, you'll keep trying to make white people love you. You'll bow down, compromise yourself, degrade yourself, and you'll never get love in return. And one day you'll see that love only comes from blacks and Hispanics. We're the home of love. We're the home of compassion. We're the home of forgiveness. And if you don't get it from us, you can get it from no one. Keep going, Ephraim.
Kind, sir. There were some leaked text messages from the young Republicans.
Of some young Republican groups, as reported by Politico, the outlet obtaining more than 7 months worth of Telegram messages in which they say members muse about using gas chambers against political opponents. I'm ready to watch people burn now, one person responds. Another describing rape as epic. The chat includes anti-Semitic comments and racial slurs against Black, Latino, Asian people, and other epithets used more than 250 times, according to Politico. The outlet says one person, after being told backers would support the most right-wing candidate for a leadership role, responded, "Great, I love Hitler." At another point, someone writes, "If we ever had a leak of this chat, we would be cooked." NBC News has not independently obtained or verified the messages, which reportedly involved political advisors and strategists in New York, Arizona, Kansas, and Vermont, including a state senator there.
It's revolting. It's disgusting. It's obnoxious.
I mean, this is a high up email. State senators, the Republican Party. These are white men about 25 to 35 years old, young Republicans. They have the ear of senators and congressmen. And on their email, they're just talking about how much they hate black people, how much they love Hitler, how they love the gas chambers. And these are all Charlie Kirk supporters. All of them. And their emails got leaked. You see, Pete Hegseth, Homelander, you don't need the press to be in the Pentagon for things to get leaked. You see, this is an email that got leaked, and it wasn't from the Pentagon. You cannot hide the truth. The truth is going to come out. What is done in darkness shall be revealed in the light. You can't get rid of the press out of the Pentagon and think you're going to be able to hide the truth. The truth is coming out, Pete Hegseth. It's coming out. And of course, it came out about the Republican Party. Come to find out, we were right about the Republicans. They're Nazis. They're Nazis. They love Adolf Hitler. They love the gas chambers. They're hateful of blacks and Hispanics. They don't care about gangs or crime. They just want a reason to hurt Hispanics. Let me tell you something about white people that's going to blow your stupid ass mind. Do you see what's happening in Chicago? Do you see the ICE raids? Did I tell you to get buck fever before, Ephraim?
Buck fever? No, sir.
Yeah, I want you to look up buck fever, and I want you to get me someone that is shaking and trembling and put it up on the screen. They got to be shaking and trembling. I'm going to try to explain white people to you, you black conservatives out there, you white people, you black people that think that God loves the people that murder you. Let me try to explain white people to you, all right? I think for about the last, 6 or 8 years, police brutality videos have been all over the internet. The murder of Fernando Castillo, when the cops shot him when he went to reach for his wallet, and his wife screamed in agony, and his daughter screamed for her mother to stop screaming, or else they would be killed as well. That's a video I still cannot watch. I don't watch that video. I can't do it. Eddie, what's his name? What's Eddie Gray? What's the brother's name in Baltimore?
Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray in Baltimore. His neck being broken in the back of a paddy wagon, right? George Floyd. That video of that knee on his neck as he screamed, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." Those videos were all over the internet for about 8 years. And we all watched them. And we all had a feeling of, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God, I don't want to look at this again. So many of us went to march in the streets. We marched in the streets. We did terrible things and, threw rocks through windows because of the agony of looking at someone that looks just like us being strangled by the authority figures that we pay tax dollars to. It was painful to watch those videos. I'm going to tell you something about white people that you have to face. As we were watching the murder of Freddie Gray, the murder of George Floyd, and our stomachs were turning with agony because of compassion and empathy, white people were thinking, I would love to kill black people the way they are. I would love to get out there and kill the way that Freddie Gray was getting killed. White people were jealous of the cops that were killing black people. They wanted to enjoy it themselves. Those same videos that made you march, that made you riot, those same videos made white people jealous of the cop that got to kill Fernando Castillo, jealous of the police officer that got to kill Eric Gardner. They were hungry for the feeling. And the minute they got in power, they sent the federal agents in to get some of the fun, to get some of the pleasure that the murderer of Freddie Gray got, that the murderer of Eric Gardner got. It is an actual thing that white hunters know about. It's called buck fever. Buck fever. Buck fever is the excitement that hunters get from killing a deer. And it is intense and it is more strong than an orgasm. And it is something that only white men get. White men get a sense of pleasure from killing someone that is so intense, it's greater to them than sex, which is why white men don't want to have sex with a woman. They don't care about that. They care about killing someone because that's what gives them their greatest sense of pleasure. I'm going to play a video for you of buck fever. Do you have it, Ephraim?
Sir.
Play it, please.
I can't stop shaking. I gotta call my dad. Here, touch my screen. I haven't seen him. He's big though. Oh my God. Like a little kid.
Like you, sir, if I may.
I'm scared. That scared me. I ain't need to. But keep going. Keep going, Ephraim. Play the sound.
I'm gonna have to ask Mom for a mount for Christmas now. Can't get any decoys.
Fast forward. If you go research buck fever, you'll see little kids and they're shaking. Oh God, because they just killed the deer and they're trembling with excitement. Trembling with excitement. When that video came out of George Floyd with that knee on his neck, you were appalled. White people were excited. They were so excited about it. They said, we could send federal agents, we could wear masks, and we could kill Black people. We could kill the Mexicans. We could do it. They were excited by those same videos. They were turned on. They were turned on by it. And now they elected Donald Trump because he promised them that we're not going to just let the cops in Chicago enjoy the kill. You come join ICE and we'll let you have the kill.
Right.
We'll let you enjoy it. We'll let you enjoy it. They were jealous of police brutality in Chicago. Jealous of police brutality. Los Angeles has been famous for police brutality since the 70s. Since the 70s. Since the crash units of Los Angeles have been famous for brutalizing Blacks and Hispanics. And every story that came out that we hated, that we were appalled by, there was some white man going, can't wait to get to Los Angeles. I can't wait to get there to kill a Mexican. Oh, I can't wait to do it. And they elected Donald Trump to fulfill their pleasure. Their pleasure is murder. That's white people. And if you just Google buck fever, you'll see why people join ICE, why they would do that job, because they love to hurt people. They love it. Now I'm going to go into D'Angelo for a second. Clap it up for a second if I could. Give me some D'Angelo background music if I could. I'm trying to help some white people here because I've just explained to you the nature of white people. They love to be cruel. They love to hurt people. They get sexual excitement from killing a thing. From killing the thing. They love that. That's why they join ICE. That's why they become ICE agents. Let me try to explain something to you. D'Angelo died this week. D'Angelo, he was an R&B singer. He was not someone in the truth. What are you playing right here? You know what? Let me play this for me if you don't mind. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let me give you a better one, Ephraim, all right? I would like you to play How Does It Feel? You white men need this one. Because you know what the problem with white men is? White men, you don't like vagina. You don't like women. You white men, you don't want women. You don't like women. You get more pleasure from forcing a woman than you do from seducing a woman. The only white men that can get a woman is someone that learns how to do it from a Black man, from an Hispanic man. You see, we play that right there. That's what you need right there. Oh, get that, white people. White people, listen carefully. You need some of this in your life. Let me tell you something about D'Angelo. D'Angelo was not in the Israelite school of UPK. He was not a brother that came up with me in the doctrine that I teach. He was a brother in the world. Give me the book of Titus. I sent you this precept earlier, brother.
Yes, sir.
He was not a brother in the truth. He was not a righteous man, right? He did not keep the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of God. But there's one thing I can absolutely tell you about D'Angelo that is absolutely true. D'Angelo was better than Charlie Kirk. He was better than Charlie Kirk. Right now, you have white people that are venerating Charlie Kirk and making him a saint, and he's getting a holiday to his name. And Donald Trump gave him the Medal of Freedom. And young white men everywhere are trying to pattern themselves after Charlie Kirk. White men, D'Angelo would be a far better example than Charlie Kirk. D'Angelo was better than Charlie Kirk. If you need to just look at someone to pattern yourselves after, someone that died, D'Angelo would be a better choice, because D'Angelo knew how to be kind and creative. D'Angelo wasn't a brute. Do you know how Charlie Kirk got his wife? You can Google this. Charlie Kirk was a man who could not get any women at all. And one day he did a job interview with this girl. And this girl did a job interview for hours with him. In the end of the interview, Charlie Kirk said, listen, I'm not going to give you the job, but I will date you. And the girl went home to her friends and she said, I don't understand what happened. He said he's not going to hire me. He interviewed me for hours and then said I'm not getting the job. But then he said he is going to date me. And then that is how Charlie Kirk got his wife. Charlie Kirk, the only way he could get a woman is if her only choice was to either be with him or be unemployed. That was her only choice. And that is how white people get women. White people don't get women because they're sophisticated, or they have charm, or they're debonair, or they can smell good, look good, talk good, and be the type of masculine man that can convince a woman to choose them. Charlie Kirk gets a woman because either you have sex with him, or you're poor, or you don't have money. And that's how Charlie Kirk got his women. Charlie Kirk is another hero of the incel movement. The incel movement are white men who believe they cannot get any women because they're not tall enough. They don't have enough money. And so there's really no way for them to get women. Fuentes, what's that cat's name? Fuentes?
Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes is another king of the incel movement. A bunch of white men who think, I can never get a woman. There's no way for me to get a woman. I'm only 5'9". I'm not rich. Women are going to never want me. So they just play video games, get high, and hate women from afar. And they try to get enough money for them to coerce a woman to somehow having sex with them. White people, if you're looking for a role model, D'Angelo was not a man of God, but D'Angelo was better than Charlie Kirk. He was a better man than Charlie Kirk. Give me the book of Titus. Quid pro quo, that's correct. Quid pro quo. Let me tell you something else about white women out there. You white women out there, you're having sex with white men for money because you know you can't make it otherwise. Let me tell you something that would revolutionize the job market. You know, recently they struck down DEI practices, which were practices to try to force white people to hire black people, even though they hate black people. They were forced to hire at least 1% of them, at least 3% of them. Even though you're racist, you had to have at least a few black people on your payroll, or else the government would punish you. That's gone now. That's gone now. the affirmative action was a way to make a positive action to counteract the negative action of racism. Because for so many years, Black people could not get a job because of the color of their skin. So now they said you at least have to have a few Black people, a few Hispanics that work at this place to make sure that we're not allowing your racism to force us. 1 second. We're not allowing, huh? Not yet. Go tell your mommy to do it. We're not allowing your racism we're not allowing your racism to force you to have 0 Black people that work for this job, right? 1 second, warrior. 1 second, brother. Wait. So now, what does that mean? So now they got rid of affirmative action. Now there's no such thing as affirmative action anymore. Let me tell you something that you would have to do if you really want to make change in the workforce. You would have to make a law saying that if a white woman has had sex with any employer on this job, that white woman cannot get that job. If a woman has sex with an employer, she is barred from ever getting a position on that job. If you did something like that, then now a white woman could get a job because she's qualified. But let me tell you what's happening now. Look at Pam Bondi. Look at all of the women that work for Donald Trump. They're white women who got that job because they had sex with someone in power. That Pam Bondi has had sex with Donald Trump back when she was in college. Charlie Kirk got his wife and got the new head of Turning Point because she had sex with the boss. So many white women who are now in government, who are now the secretary of this and the attorney general and all these people that are in power, the only reason these white women got that job is because they had sex with some white man in power. If you want to actually make the workforce fair, then you tell white women, if you have sex with someone on this job, you can never get this job. You can never have this job. You know what else that would do? That would let women get a job without having to have sex with someone. Don't you understand? These women go to work and they have to have sex with Charlie Kirk. They have to have sex with Donald Trump. They have to do it or else they can't get hired. Don't you want a woman to get a job based on merit, based on her abilities? Well, then you have to say, if any woman has sex with a man in power at this job, she can't have the job. Now the right women will get the job. Now a woman will get a job because she's smart, because she's capable, not simply because she was able to have sex with Donald Trump when she was in college like Pam Bondi did. Now, what's the point of all of this? To teach you white men something that you need, that Charlie Kirk can't give you. You need to be more nice. You need to be kind. And as long as you venerate men like Charlie Kirk, you're going to teach the next generation of white men to be cruel. D'Angelo is better than Charlie Kirk. Play the song. Play it in the background. D'Angelo is better than Charlie Kirk. That's why those young white boys made that text, those emails about loving the gas chambers, loving Adolf Hitler. Those white men cannot get women. They cannot get any woman at all, because to get a woman, they'd have to fight their nature of cruelty and bestiality and being brutes. They can't get a woman. You should listen to D'Angelo, and you should stop listening to Charlie Kirk. Play How Does It Feel? Play it a little louder right here, white men. Listen to this carefully. Play the first part.
So, like, sir, I'm not sure how much of it we can play without.
I forgot. White people, you better listen to it on your own time, because you're listening to Charlie Kirk, and all you're doing is becoming more cruel and more brutal. I might have to play the video of the brother who they beat up back in the 30s. Where am I at with my time? Is Cross the Line waiting to get it on?
It's Colonel Khan. It's 9:26.
Okay, I gotta wrap it now. Correct?
Not now, but
well, because I'm trying to help my white friends out there. Ethan. I know that they make heroes of people like Charlie Kirk. And if Charlie Kirk is your hero, you can't get any. You'll get none. You can't get a woman if Charlie Kirk is your hero, because Charlie Kirk couldn't get a woman. He can't do it, right? He'd have to hire a woman to be his wife. He'd have to have a Charlie Kirk literally had a job interview, and the woman came to get a job. She wanted to pay her bills. He said, "Listen, I don't believe in giving women jobs, but you can be my wife." The bitch said, "All right, shit, I gotta pay my bills somehow. A bitch has got to eat. So I guess I'll marry Charlie Kirk." You saw how she hugged Donald Trump at the funeral. Did you see that, Ephraim?
Yes, sir.
Charlie Kirk's wife hugged Donald Trump like she needs a new sugar daddy. Now she's going to hug Charlie Kirk. Now she's going to hug Donald Trump. White men, you might want to listen to D'Angelo and stop listening to men like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk can get women. Black and Hispanic men, we know how to get women. Ask your wife. Ask your white woman. Ask your mother. Ask your mother, like Commanding General Yohanna said it so eloquently on that white supremacist podcast. Your grandfathers had to rape my grandmother to have sex. Your grandmother wanted to have sex with my grandfather. Your grandmother went into the stables to have sex with a buck. Your grandmother wanted my grandfather. My grandfather didn't have to rape your woman. Your grandmom wanted my grandfather's penis, fantasized about it every day on the farm. White women fantasize about having sex with Hispanic men. White women fantasize about having sex with black men. Your grandmother fantasized on a slave plantation about having sex with my grandfather. He didn't have to rape her. He didn't have to. She came in there and assumed the position, and he put fire on your grandmother's tail. My grandfather absolutely had sex with your grandmother, and it was consensual. It was consensual sex. Doesn't that tell you something? Don't you see something about your masculinity? White women don't like white men. White women like black men. White women like Hispanic men, because white men are not attractive because they're not masculine. They have never been masculine. And white women are attracted to blacks and Hispanics because white men are cruel animals, cavemen, and black men will ask you how it feels. They'll ask you how it feels. How does it feel? They'll ask you, how does it feel? And that's what white women want. And you white men need to stop listening to Charlie Kirk, and you need to start listening to D'Angelo. D'Angelo was not in the truth. He was not a man of God. But D'Angelo was a lot better than Charlie Kirk. I pray you understand. You understand, Ephraim? We good to go with that?
Did you want the scripture in Titus?
Read the 1 second, Warrior. 1 second. Read the one in Titus. Go ahead.
Titus 3:2. To speak evil of no man.
Read that again. I can't. You're a little low for me. Go ahead.
Titus 3:2. To speak evil of no man. To be no brawler.
2 and 1.
2 and verse 1.
Almost done.
Salakia, sir.
Read it. Read it louder. I can't hear you.
Put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers.
This is speaking about what the elder men should teach the younger men. Go ahead.
To obey magistrates.
To obey the authorities, the magistrates. Go ahead.
To be ready to every good work.
You see, this is the good thing that older brothers teach younger brothers. If white men learned this, they wouldn't shoot Charlie Kirk. They wouldn't assassinate so many people. They wouldn't do so many school shootings. If they were taught to do good works and obey the authorities, obey the magistrates, obey the judges. White men are taught to rebel. White men are taught to shoot anyone that they disagree with, which is why white men commit so many acts of violence. White men are the violent men. White men. Ask Charlie Kirk. He'll tell you if he could tell you. He'll tell you. Keep going.
Yes, sir. To speak evil of no man. To be no brawler.
To do what? To read that last part again?
To speak evil of no man.
Speak evil. Charlie Kirk said evil things about black people. Evil things about black women. Evil things about Hispanics. You shouldn't do things like that. D'Angelo didn't do that. D'Angelo just, did his drugs and sung about women, and he was a lost soul, but he was a lot better than Charlie Kirk. A lot better. The Bible says, speak evil of no man. Charlie Kirk spoke evil of men. Spoke evil of black men, Hispanic men, black and Hispanic women. Charlie Kirk spoke evil of them. Keep going.
To be no brawlers.
To be no what?
Brawlers.
You know what a brawler is? Someone that loves to physically fight someone. That's white men. White men, you can't stop punching somebody in the face in a bar, punching somebody in the face at a political rally. You love to hurt people. D'Angelo wouldn't have taught you that. Charlie Kirk did. He wouldn't have. Charlie Kirk was not as good a man as D'Angelo. And D'Angelo was no good man, but he was better than Charlie Kirk. Keep going.
But gentle.
But what?
But gentle.
But what?
But gentle.
Charlie Kirk was not gentle. He wasn't gentle. And that's why the men that venerate him and deify him love gas chambers, love Adolf Hitler, love to put on a mask and handcuff a 5-year-old Mexican baby. Charlie Kirk was a cruel, violent man. D'Angelo wasn't. D'Angelo wasn't perfect. He wasn't a man of God. But D'Angelo was better than Charlie Kirk. Continue.
Showing all meekness unto all men.
You hear that? Showing meekness, kindness, humility to everyone. Not just to white people, but to everyone. D'Angelo was not perfect. He was not in the Israelite school of UPK. He was not a man of God. But if you're looking for someone to follow, young white men, D'Angelo was a lot better than Charlie Kirk. I pray you understand. With that, Ephraim, let's wrap it up. You ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
Let's tap it up. Who do we have? Let's thank the brothers that came in tonight. Come on, Atlanta. Thawada Atlanta for staying on board with us tonight. Give Atlanta a hand. Give the Berg out there in Pittsburgh a hand. I see you, Pittsburgh. Good to see you. Milwaukee. Give Milwaukee a hand. Outstanding. Trinidad, we see you, brothers out here. You need anything, you let us know. Chi-Town. Once again, Chi-Town. You know, Commanding General Yohana is here, and Commanding General Yohana protects his people. You understand that, Chicago? You let everyone know that out there in Chicago. Commanding General Yohana protects the people that God loves. You let them know that out there in Chicago. Also up there in, where you at, Montreal? Montreal up north, man. Give Montreal a hand. Also over ISUPK France. Give him a hand, warrior. You put the salute in the chat room. You did that, warrior?
Karawakan, sir.
Go ahead and say it one more time.
Shalom Yahweh, au nom de Yahweh Shai, soyez bénis. Et shalom Yahweh, veille sur vous, au nom de Yahweh Shai.
Absolutely. Well done, warrior. I appreciate your service up. And we got Colleen, Texas out there. Colleen, did you want to say anything about the cookout? You good to go?
Hey, like you said, Sir Cap, he's plotting. So y'all come down, man. He's plotting. So y'all come down and enjoy yourselves.
Get down there, go online and find out the dates.